Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final NCAA men's basketball post-game recap of the season. The 2026 season is in the books. The Michigan Wolverines are your champions over Danny P's UConn Huskies. Danny, good evening. How you doing over there? You holding up okay?
We're good, man. The best team in college basketball won. I mean, they were the best team all year. You know what I mean? And we played great. We out rebounded the biggest team in college basketball. We only turned the ball over 11 times. They really, honestly, they played really good, man. I really wasn't, you know what I mean? I wasn't mad at anything that they did. I was just mad at the fact that the officials decided the game. Our point guard fouled out on a phantom call. Our point guard couldn't play half the first half. I mean, you gotta let him play, man. I mean, it's not the reason you lose. I would never say that. It's not the reason we lost, but it's sad to see the referees have such a big part in a game. That always just makes it. I just let him play, man.
So I got to admit, I didn't watch. I forgot to mute my TV, so there might be some background noise. I I watched a lot of the first half, but I was like up and down doing things. Like the baby didn't go to bed right away, and then I was making some dinner, so I didn't see. I saw that UConn had a lot of fouls. The second half, it seemed like they let them play a little bit more. Both teams, both teams.
Yeah,
It wasn't the prettiest of games
yeah.
anywhere. You know what I
No,
mean?
anywhere, no shooting, everything.
Wasn't the prettiest of games, but it did look like you know, if UConn was getting some unfair calls in the first half, the second half, at least it seemed like it evened out where they just weren't calling anything on either team.
Yeah, yeah,
But, you know,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the whole thing is that, you know what I mean? Usually what happens, like in most national championships, they let him play in the first half and then they tighten the whistle in the second half.
Yeah.
And that was like that's what was like surprising to me is that I mean literally the turning point in the game, which was a foul and was a flagrant, was the hook and hold on a caravan. When
That was,
that happened,
yeah.
that UConn had the lead, and when that happened, they scored twice on that one possession, and that's UConn never got the lead back after that point.
Yeah. There were times though in that the end of the first half, beginning of the second half, that
Hmm.
Michigan defense was just like
Yeah,
swarming. I mean,
100%.
they were everywhere. They
Hmm.
were everywhere. But you know, to your credit, again, you guys stayed with it the whole game. I mean, really, it was
Yeah, they
it,
fought, man. I mean, within four and under a minute. I mean, I mean, you can't ask for much more, man. They really did.
0 for 9 from or something like that, or 0 for 11 from threes in the second half until I
Yep.
think Mullins finally hit a couple, and then Solo Ball hit that huge one off
Yeah.
the backboard to get it to. I think that was the one to get it to either.
The banker four. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Terrace Reed, they kept Terrace Reed quiet for the
Yeah.
most part. They didn't. I mean, I know he was in foul trouble, but
That's
they
a,
they did
yeah.
a
Him.
good job on him.
Yeah. Him and Mara were non-factors, both of them.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and that's what I mean, that's what I said, the other day is that the big difference is going to be what the other guys do. You know what I mean? Reed and
right.
Mara are going to cancel each other out. I wasn't really worried about anything with that matchup at all. It was more of Morris Johnson. You know what I mean, going up against
Yeah,
Caravan. Lendenborg with his size, but that's like you know what I mean. That's like it's kind of like NBA whistle, man. You know what I
right.
mean? Whenever Lendenborg drove the lane and anyone's hands up, it doesn't matter. He made contact. It was a foul. And that's what happened in the first half. That if they didn't have all the foul shots that they made in the first half, they would have had 22 points.
Yeah, yeah. So just a couple quick statistics here. Um, Michigan shot 38% from the field. UConn only shot 31%. That's tough. 3 point.
Yeah,
Here's the big thing. Michigan shot 13% from three,
yeah,
and UConn, you guys only shot 27%,
yeah,
9 for 33, which six of those came in the first half, I believe, which
yeah,
is, you know, make a few more of those. The big line to me was free throw discrepancy 25
yeah,
to 28 for Michigan, 89%, as opposed to only 12 to 16. So that's what 12 more free throws that they took,
yeah,
that Michigan took, and they made 11 more,
yeah.
so 11 points right there. Um,
And more than half of those were in the first half.
yeah, yeah. So turnovers were pretty much the same.
Yeah,
Points in the paint was a discrepancy too. 36
yeah,
for Michigan, 22 for UConn. But again, to your point, like like you guys stayed right there,
We did
the entire time.
we did all the things we had to do to win the game. Michigan's just good, man. I mean, they're athletically, they're long, their point guards are good, the guys off the bench are good. Like it's like really, you know what I mean. I kudos to not just because I'm a UConn fan. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
no one gave them a no one gave them a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Against they just blew out Arizona by 30 points. you know,
Yeah. No, I
it's
know. I know.
yeah. But
I
Michigan's
know.
the best team. They're the best team in the country, man, by far, and they deserve it, 100%.
No, it was a good win for them. I mean, it's
Yeah,
hard unless you're like a diehard Michigan State fan or just all out Michigan hater. It's kind of hard
yeah,
not to. I like them because Dusty May had
yeah,
that run with Florida Atlantic University a few years ago, getting them to
hmm
the Final Four. So,
yeah.
the Florida man, which is always, I don't know. That's always just it's
No,
just got.
no, and he's a good dude. He's a good dude. The only thing I will say I do not like about them is five starting transfers.
Well, that's
I
unfortunately that
know, I know, I know.
landscape. I know. It
Yeah,
was the stat about Caravan that he could have had his third national championship in a 4-year span is pretty
yeah,
wild.
yeah,
It's something you don't hear about anymore, and we probably won't hear too much
yeah,
going
yeah,
forward. But
yeah.
yeah,
I,
that's
I,
the
uh,
landscape.
yeah. I mean, I think honestly, like, dude, like, like in my head, like, where you know what I mean, like, I could rant about the officials and shit like that, but like, Demery following out on a non-foul. You know what I mean? He didn't even that was not a foul. And then Cadeau flopping when Mullins was trying to run,
Yeah,
and
he
yet
sold that pretty
yeah,
good.
you have
I
to give
mean,
people freedom of
yeah,
movement. You can't
yeah,
stand in their way. You have to give
yeah.
people freedom of
He
movement.
sold it
Yeah,
pretty good. He's a
those were
smart player, Cadeau.
oh yeah, he's super smart. But those are two huge turning points where we had the ball and he turned it over and stuff like that, man. Where it's like, like the referees know Cadeau is a bullshitter. You
Right,
know what I mean? Like you
right, right,
gotta,
right. Right.
like they do their homework too.
There
You
was a
know?
play that I think it was like 4-2 or in
Yeah,
a game when Cadeau drew a foul on Demery. He had him. He was way outside the arc, and Demery
yeah,
was running on him, and he jumped like as he was going to shoot. And
yeah. The 3-pointer, yeah, dude,
that was like
super
that was
smart.
an early tone
Yeah,
setter though.
yeah.
But I'll say what I think. Neither team shot too well. Obviously, the
No,
free throw discrepancy,
yeah,
does stand out. But
yeah.
that Michigan defense at the end of the first
Oh,
half,
phenomenal,
was just
phenomenal.
all over
Yeah,
you guys.
yeah.
So
No, and that's what like I give up. I mean, dude, like out rebounding them, like
yeah,
Mullins, everybody was
yeah,
flying in
they
for
were.
offensive rebounds all over the place,
Grabbing
man.
jump balls, grabbing 50-50 balls. Absolutely.
Yeah. We were 100% getting all the, you know what I mean, like putting in the more effort to get those balls and those
Yeah.
loose balls and stuff like that. But like, yeah, I mean, you just got to credit Michigan, man. I can't be a begrudging UConn fan. They're a good freaking team.
So I think Cadeau probably gets player of the game. He had like 19
Yeah,
points or something, right?
yeah,
Johnson was a big factor early and then had a
yeah.
few key baskets down the
I
stretch.
think he was the most important player, man. I
Who
mean, honestly,
on UConn was the most important player? Because I think that might have been the problem a little bit is like no one
yeah,
really stood out
yeah,
that much,
yeah, yeah.
Caravan,
No,
Caravan had a couple nice threes and a couple really good points in the paint where he either
mhm,
drove or followed up shots. Mullins had a couple follow ups and obviously the threes. Solo Ball had
yeah,
some threes,
yeah,
but nobody really. There's nobody that really stood out
no,
with you
no,
guys, which
yeah.
is
No, I would say the best effort by far was Malachi Smith because he had to play heavy minutes and
yeah,
he did really good in those heavy minutes,
yeah,
and that's like that, like coming on that stage and doing what he did. And honestly, you know what I mean? Michigan's defense is just so good and so long, man. I mean,
yeah,
they're just so good,
yeah, yeah. Shout out to Lendeborg, man. You could tell he
Yeah,
was hurting big time. I
yeah,
don't know if you heard the interview, the quick interview at the end of the first
yeah. I
when
heard it.
he like admitted all of it, which I almost thought was a little bit of gamesmanship on his part. Like,
Yeah,
but shout out to him for battling. He had some really
yeah,
nice buckets in the second half and some
yeah,
great defensive plays throughout the game.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'll give another begrudging you another begrudging UConn thing is that the announcers. I love Grant Hill and Raf. You know what I mean? I love them,
yeah,
dude. The whole game just sucking it.
oh
On
yeah,
Michigan, the whole
they
game
were.
is
Yeah,
so
no,
bad, dude.
they were.
It was
Yeah,
it was so bad because Solo Ball was in a walking boot yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was never mentioned, not once.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
like
you're absolutely right.
it
You're
was so.
absolutely right.
But I love those dudes, man. They're so good. I was just so surprised. I was like, this is like egregious, man.
Well, Grant Hill's just pissed because you guys,
Yes, 100%.
he's a dookie.
Yeah, 100%, man. But no,
Yeah.
dude, it was a good game. It was a good. I
It
think it
was
was
a
a
good
good,
game. It
good
was great.
national championship.
Honestly,
Sloppy and ugly, but
I get again. Didn't I? There was a large part of me that thought it was going to be
me too.
15, 20 point.
Oh yeah.
And you could see how it could have gotten there.
Oh, easy.
But again, you guys scrapped hard. You guys scrapped
Yeah.
good. So,
Dude, I was literally in my head. I was like, if we're down only 15 at the half, we're in good shape. That was before the game.
and they covered. Well, 15 points is like nothing nowadays.
Yeah.
But they covered the point spread, didn't they? Wasn't it 7.5?
I think it was 6.5 at game time.
Oh, okay, but still,
Yeah.
they still covered
Yeah.
it. It was
Yeah.
6 points.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The fix was in.
that'll make the bettors happy. But
Yeah.
anyways, well, listen, man, great season, another
Yeah.
awesome NCAA season in the books. Now we get to turn our attention to NBA playoffs and
Some baseball, baby.
baseball and NFL draft. But we just want to thank all the listeners for tuning into these little one-offs on YouTube that Danny and I have been doing. We love them. We hope you enjoy them. We'll be back with some NBA content and then eventually some MLB stuff and NFL draft stuff. But please support the show, Trudge Report Pod. Find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all the social medias at Trudge Report Pod. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your listenership, and please share the show. We appreciate everyone. So thank you all, and we'll see you soon.